In a world where there are almost too many shapes and sizes of vibrators, it's become quite overwhelming to choose or even know what you want. But the great thing about a wand vibrator is that you can't go wrong. Today, we are demystifying the wand vibrator to turn you into a wand wizard and show you a few orgasmic spells that you can try out with yourself or with a partner. Hi, I'm Al. Welcome to Dame's Sex Ed, Pleasure, and Wellness channel for vulva havers at all stages of life. I'm a sexologist and CEO and founder of a sexual wellness brand called Dame. So when I say that the wand style of vibrator is one of the most beloved styles of sex toys, it's backed by the millions of vulva havers who have used it for pleasure since the 1960s. Here's why people have been using it for over 50 years. So what's a wand, you ask? Well, a wand is power on a stick. See, what makes a wand unique is that you have your vibrating motor attached to a long handle, and it's designed for external use only. And those are really differentiating factors about a wand. We call it a wand because it feels like a wand. A powerful, magical wand you can use to manifest joy. Because the motor is not designed for internal use and is on a stick, we can use a much larger motor, which will make the vibrator more powerful than what you could probably create in an internal vibrator. So thanks physics on that one. Anyway, while you can use this type of vibrator anywhere on the body, it really shines and has a magical effect when we put it on the clitoris. So again, the differentiators here are power on a stick for external use only. The wand vibrator's rise to the climax of popularity was a momentous one, and an incredibly culturally impactful one too. See, wand massagers came out on the scene in 1968 from Hitachi, and they were originally marketed as a health home tool to relieve sore muscles. Yes, of course, they're actually pretty good at relieving sore muscles, but that's only massaging the surface. Since wand vibrators came out at the start of the women's liberation movement, vulva havers quickly found a different use for them.
I'd like to return this vibrator.
That's not a vibrator. It's a neck massager.
As Lynn Comella said in her book, Vibrator Nation, perhaps more than any other vibrator, the magic wand has achieved a kind of iconic status as a symbol of female sexual liberation with a fan base and popularity that has spanned generations. It was thanks to people like famous sex educator Betty Dodson who popularized the Hitachi's magic wand in the 1970s, not as a body massager, but as a body massager for women's lady parts. And the timing was perfect. Female sexual health was coming to the forefront of the counterculture movement at the time. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for a weekly dose of pleasure exploration. On to the benefits. If you've ever struggled with having an orgasm, a wand massager could become your new favorite tool for not only having one, but maybe multiple orgasms. See, using our hands in general for control stimulation is great, but it can strain your wrist, and for some, it's really hard to achieve an orgasm with just your fingers. In fact, a lot of people also can't have as intensive orgasms as they do with vibrators. So vibrators in general, they're gonna offer a different sensation than your hand, as well as a stronger sensation. But what makes wands different specifically is that they tend to be more powerful, and again, their handle allow them to be a little bit more versatile and easier to use depending on your ability and body type. When we use vibrators and explore our sexual pleasure on our own, we tend to have better sexual pleasure with our partners because we can call in the types of experiences we'd like to have that we've learned on our own. Okay, so before I tell you how to use a wand, I want to tell you how to not use it. Wands are not designed for internal use. There are some double-sided wands that have a motor in the handle, but personally, I don't get a lot of value out of that. I don't really enjoy having the controls internal and then also having my handle have juices and such all over it. So now on to the most classic way to use a wand, which is directly on the clitoris. For those of you who aren't familiar, the clitoris is the pleasure center of the vulva. It is right where the inner labia meet at the top of the vulva, and we're gonna have a whole video on just the clitoris. So make sure to subscribe. Since wand vibrators have a long handle, we can make the motor, and therefore the vibration, much bigger and stronger. And that's exactly what a lot of people need in order to achieve an orgasm. So there are two main ways you can really hold the vibrator. I'm sure you can get creative, but really there's this upright way, and I find it much more comfortable to use it in this downward way, especially if I'm using it on myself. The other thing about a wand is that it's quite strong. So if you're looking to decrease the sensation, you can use blankets or a pillow in between the wand and you. Lastly, wands are great for partner play. I think the most common way I've seen them used with partners is kind of during doggy style, where your partner can use the vibrator to reach around and provide clitoral stimulation. Wands are also really great for edging. Edging is a technique that we can use to heighten our orgasms, and we're gonna have a whole video on edging later, so be sure to subscribe. Yes, wands are great for clitoral stimulation, but they're also great for nipple play. See, nipples are kind of similar to the clitoris in that they stimulate a really similar region of the brain. I recommend using it kind of on a lower setting, especially if we're talking about foreplay here. Making small circles around the nipples. This is gonna help create a sensation of arousal before we go down south. You can also use it on a nipple during intercourse to help create a stronger, full-bodied orgasm. You can also use a wand to explore your other erogenous zones, like the perineum, the space between your vagina and the anus, your inner thighs, the nape of your neck, behind your knees. That's just to name a few common erogenous places. If you have a partner, you can even ask them to experiment with your vibrator on you in those areas. It's a great way to spice it up and help create arousal. Now, if you have a partner with a penis, you can also use this product on them. It's really great on penises. You can also use it between you and your partner. Whether they have a vulva or a penis, it can be a great way of providing stimulation for both of you at the same time. All right, bonus tip, you can even use it as a microphone if you're in a pinch. Now, I'm not quite sure when you would be in a pinch for a microphone, and you might have trouble getting it to say like work as a microphone, but it looks like one and it's funny. There are also so many different types of wand massagers, but I want to start with the classic Hitachi Magic Wand, which is now known as just the Magic Wand because Hitachi sold it after not wanting to be associated with vibrators. Anyway, it had a long handle, a silicone head, and it plugged directly into the wall. Most wand vibes take after that original style with slight variations on like weight, material, shape, size, and intensity levels. Now here at Dame, we designed Calm. Calm is an ergonomic, lightweight, cordless version of the classic Magic Wand. Our in-house team of engineers designed Calm to curve to the contours of the body, and it features a flexible neck, which will help reduce the vibrations you feel in your hand. Plus, it makes it easier to use the product with the motion of the ocean. Calm has 5 intensities and 5 different patterns, all of which are ridiculously quiet. While it does pack a serious punch at those higher levels, we also wanted to make sure the lower settings were pretty tame. So it's a way less intimidating than some of the intense, powerful magic wands and wand vibrators that are out there. Also, just like all of our other products, Calm is made out of medical grade silicone. It also features a sleek design that's so cute you might actually want to display it in your room. So like, step aside, succulents. To get your own Calm wand vibrator and to explore our other pleasure products, head to dame.com/sexed. To learn more, watch our About Dame video linked in the description below. And remember to subscribe and turn on notifications for weekly raw and real sex and pleasure education. Now go get that O. We'll see you in our next class. It's been a pleasure.